Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to y'all the best Teostra armor guide, the best metagear. This video analyzes the armor of the second Elder Dragon of Monster Hunter Now. Teostra has some of the most powerful armor pieces in the game, and even if you don't want to build the Teostra armor for the skills, the layered armor looks pretty cool. You look like a Pawn Knight, or if you want to get more specific with the clockwork stuff, you kind of look like Iron Man.
I'm the best.
Now let's just hope your armor doesn't fall apart like that, unless you really want it to, which one of these days hopefully will get downgrading for armor so that you can get some of your parts back that you didn't want to use for stuff that you built before. Speaking of parts, here we have the Teostra armor for stats and cost. So, we have the Teostra armor which starts at grade 6 when you start it as a new forge. The base defense is 100 and its forge requirements are 4 Teostra shells, which are rarity 1, 2 Elder Dragon Bloods, which are rarity 4, 2 Teostra tails, which are rarity 5, and you need 1 armor refining part, which is rarity 3. Along with this, you need 3000 Zenny. Now here's a note, forging any of the Teostra armor pieces also unlocks its layered armor. Layered armor requires grade 6, well guess what, when you forge a piece of Teostra armor, it starts off at grade 6. So, you get a double bonus, you forge the piece of gear you wanted, as well as unlocking its layered armor for the Teostra set. And this brings us to the Teostra armor grade 8 cost. Now, upgrading any piece of Teostra gear to grade 8 will take a lot of materials. Upgrading to grade 8 is necessary to unlock the third skill of the Teostra armor and their drift smelt slots. So that's the great thing about grade 8. You get two things, you kill two birds with one stone, as in you get the third skill you want for your Teostra armor and you get the drift smelt slot at the same time. However, like we see on this list of materials you need for Teostra's grade 8 from a fresh forge, unless you're really lucky, getting rarity 6 horn from Teostra can take a lot of Elder Dragon interceptions. Even if it's just 3, those 3 can be exceptionally painful. And to save you the pain of possibly forging a Teostra piece you don't want, we're going to analyze the entire armor set, starting with the Helm analysis, its equipment skills, and their effects. When you forge a Teostra Helm, you will get Teostra Blast Powder at level 1. This makes it easier to rid yourself of Blast Blight and slightly easier to inflict blast buildup on monsters. You will also get latent power at level 1, where affinity is increased by 20% and special gauge fill rate is increased by 10% after 48 seconds into the battle and quickened by 1 second every 100 motion value hits. And at grade 8, when you upgrade the helmet to grade 8, you get Guts level 1, which up to 1 times per hunt, you survive lethal damage taken at 70 health or above. In addition, the drift smelt slot for the helm is unlocked at grade 8. This works well with the Teostra weapons because Teostra weapons have heroics, and with Guts you can activate it if you take lethal damage, but honestly this is probably the worst piece of armor in the set. Latent power is okay, Guts is very niche, but overall, outside of looking like a pretty cool piece of armor, it doesn't really have much to offer. Moving on, we have the Teostra Mail. Here's the analysis with its equipment skills and the effects. Again, we have Teostra Blast Powder level 1 when you forge the Teostra Mail, and it makes it easier to rid yourself of Blast Blight and slightly easier to inflict blast buildup on monsters. You also get Critical Eye level 1, which increases affinity by 10%, and you get Artful Dodger level 1 at grade 8. Which makes perfect evades ever so slightly easier to perform. In addition, for the mail, its drift smelt slot is unlocked at grade 8. Now this piece pairs well in crit builds that incorporate blast elements, and it's a decent piece of armor in this set. Critical Eye you need for affinity, Artful Dodger, great for that perfect evades. But other than that, it's just decent, not the best, but definitely has some use. But if you want something that's really useful, we move on to the Teostra Vambraces. Here's the analysis, its equipment skills, and effects. For the third time, I bring to you at Forge the Teostra Blast Powder at level 1, which makes it easier to rid yourself of Blast Blight and slightly easier to inflict blast buildup on monsters. You also get Artillery level 1, which increases damage of Gun Lance's ammo / Wyvern fire attacks, the Charge Blade's file attacks, and sticky ammo by 10%. And at grade 8, you get Guard level 1, which very slightly reduces damage and knockback when guarding against monster attacks. In addition, the Drift Smelt slot for the Vambraces is unlocked at grade 8. This is one of the two actually best pieces of armor in the Teostra set, and it's perfect for the Gun Lance. Gun Lance users rejoice, you can get to Artillery level 4 and to level 5 if you use the Devil Joe Lance when you use this piece. So I know all you Gun Lance users are going to be going after this thing and trying to get it as soon as possible. And up next, we have the next best piece for the Teostra armor, the Teostra Coil. Here's the analysis, the equipment skills, and the effects. And for the 4th time, at Forge you get Teostra Blast Powder at level 1, which makes it easier to rid yourself of Blast Blight and slightly easier to inflict blast buildup on monsters. And you also get Power Prolonger level 1, which decreases the rate of the spirit gauge of longswords -5%. The duration of Demon Mode of dual blades is increased by 20%, and the duration of Red Shield charge of Charge Blade by 10%. And at grade 8, you get Burst, which, landing consecutive hits in a short span of time, increases attack power by 5% for 4 seconds. In addition, for the Coil, the Drift Smelt slot is of course unlocked at grade 8. This is one of the 2 best pieces of armor in the Teostra set. The new meta piece for the raw dual blades / longsword / charge blade mains in the waist slot. I'm a dual blades main, so this is definitely something I'm going to get to grade 8 as soon as possible and start using in my dual blades raw builds. And last but not least, we cover the Teostra Greaves. Here's its analysis, equipment skills, and effects. So at Forge you get the Teostra Blast Powder at level 1, and for the final recital of this skill, you make it easier to rid yourself of Blast Blight and slightly easier to inflict blast buildup on monsters. You also get Critical Boost level 1, which increases the damage multiplier of critical hits to 130%. Now when you upgrade them to grade 8, you will get Evade Extender at level 1, which very slightly extends evasion distance. In addition, for the Greaves, as well as all the other pieces of Teostra armor, your Drift Smelt slot is unlocked at grade 8. Unfortunately, this is the second to worst piece of armor in the Teostra armor set. Evade Extender is great, but Crit Boost at level 1 just isn't worth it. It's really, this is really bad. Having these two put together and without any kind of critical or affinity boost on the Teostra weapons, that's what makes Crit Boost really terrible. You don't have a natural affinity boost, like the Mr. Beast Sword and Shield, the Mizutsune weapons, or the Keizu weapons, or Barith weapons. Since you don't get an affinity bonus, Crit Boost won't really matter. Yeah, you get that with Critical Eye if you pair this with the Mail, but with only 1 level, they just don't mix. And now that we covered all the armor, here's the overall analysis. So the best pieces of armor of this set are the Teostra Vambraces for Gunlance mains, and the Teostra Coil for multiple other raw weapon types. Dual Blades, Longsword, and the Charge Blade. While the rest of the armor is niche pieces that would require Drift Smelts to be useful in other builds and or use Blast Element. Overall, sadly, the Teostra armor is really lackluster. It has a lot of pieces that really don't mix well together if you are going for Teostra Blast Powder at level 3. Also, the Teostra armor itself has poor support for the Teostra Bow super weapon. It's the complete opposite of the Kushala de armor, where 3 pieces allow you to get to focus 5 and it mixes and meshes really well. You also get a lot of good equipment skills. Unfortunately, if you try to focus 5 with this armor, you would only be able to get the Teostra's blast skill at level 2, and it's just not worth it. In closing, hopefully this video helps you decide what to build for the Teostra armor set. Although a lot of pieces in this set aren't the best, the 1-year anniversary Elder Dragon might be something to really look forward to. Remember, after this month, next month, we have the 1 year anniversary, and we're definitely gonna get an Elder Dragon for the 1 year anniversary. How would you not put it that way? But, again, there are some good pieces in here. If you want to build them all, or if you have a build you're looking for in particular, I'm gonna do more research on that. But, just looking at the armor, it's make what you need now, but next month is going to have some really good stuff. So unless you just really love Teostra, you can save your materials and stuff, because next month might bring something good. Really good, actually. With that being said, please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Go look on all your Teostra drops and all your Teostra hunts. May those rarity 6 horns drop plentiful for you, and quickly. Good luck on your grinds as well, and I will see y'all on the next video.